Right, I thought I'd maybe show you wild camping kit list that I use. I really enjoy watching other people's kit lists. I like to see what they're carrying, you know, just to see what gear's out there and that. So I thought I would do one. Yeah, so my pack is a ULA CDT. It's an American made bag, rucksack. It's very light. It's only 600 kilos, 600 grams, sorry, or 700 grams. Mine's is probably less than that because I've taken a few bits out of it. You know, like you could take there's lots of little extra bits and bobs and straps and things, so you can get the weight down a little bit. So mine's is probably around about the 600 gram mark. It's not bad. It's I think the maximum load you can carry with it, or what they recommend is, I think it's about 9 kilograms. Now sometimes I'm carrying maybe 10 or 11, you know, especially if I've got some camera gear and that, but it seems to have held up pretty well so far. Yeah, so for lightweight it's ideal. Alright, so I'll just bring it down here. It's got these pouches on the side. It's got a big like a net compartment on the front, another pouch on the side, and then everything else is inside. It's got like a foam back on it that slips in, but I don't use that. I just make sure everything's soft towards my back. It's probably not the most comfortable rucksack on the market, but for lightweight, if you want, you know, if you want a really comfortable rucksack, you're probably going to be carrying an extra kilo, I would say, at least an extra kilo. If you've got you know, these things with the fancy back, you know, comfort backings and all the rest of it. But anyway, if you want lightweight, it's the way to go. Right, I'll start with what's in the bag on the front here. Well, I've got my phone. That's normally in my pocket, but obviously, you know, your phone, you can use it for all sorts. You know, you can even use it for navigation if you wanted to. You can use it for music and you know, and you know, obviously keep in contact with people. So yeah, it's always in my pocket normally. And SatMap GPS. I always carry it. I don't always use it because I've always normally use a map. But yeah, it's handy to have, and especially when the weather, you know, like turns really nasty. It's a really handy thing to have. It's an active SatMap Active 10. It's probably not the most waterproof thing, you know, so I put it in a plastic bag if it's wet. And staying on the map theme, maps. I always carry a map. It's the best way to get around. You know, what I do is I download them off there's certain sites you can download OS maps. I think it's, I'm trying to think of the name of the sites. Well, there's plenty out there. You know, you can download them. You know, like if I'm going, say, up to Grisdale Pike or something like that, I'll get the map area, download it, print it off, and then laminate it, and so it's waterproof. And then they're a nice size as well. Not a huge map in your pocket. Yeah, so yeah, I carry them. That's the maps. Compass as well. I haven't actually got the compass in here. It's still in my bedroom. Rain cover for the rucksack, which is this is a 45 to 60 litre low alpine rain. This, by the way, this rucksack's I think 50 litres. So that's just a nice size for the pack. More maps. And that's it for there. On the outside, carry in one of the pouches. I carry my windbreaker for me stove. It's a Vango, just a basic Vango thing. I think it's a slightly higher one. You can get two sizes, a low one or a high one. But that's ideal for what I use. My tent poles, keep them on the side because obviously the shape of them, you know, the length. It's just easier to carry them on the outside of the pack. And that's my toilet bottle. Essential on the night time. On this side I have my litre bottle. This is just a cheap 1 litre bottle. Pick them up anywhere. You know, aluminium, dead light. Yeah. Obviously once the water goes in it's a bit heavier, but yeah, that's what I normally carry, 1 litre of water. And empty Coke bottle. I'll show you what that's for in a minute. Right, on the front you've got these handy little pouches on your hip belt thing, you know. And in here on the left hand one I carry my water filtration kit, which is a Sawyer. You know everybody's seen these, they're dead popular, dead easy to carry, and you get the bag with it as well. What's, I don't know, half a litre bag or something. I don't normally use the bag. That's why I carry the empty Coke bottle, because it fits onto the end of the filter, and it's just much easier to use rather than use the bag. So that's water filtration. It also comes with a straw, but I don't carry that. You know, you could drink straight from a stream using the straw on the end of the filter and just suck it through. But I don't tend to use that. And on the other side is my head torch, which is a Petzl head torch, and it's just basically a bit of string on a spring, and it weighs 78 grams I think it weighs, or maybe even less than that. It's not very much. It's very lightweight. But yeah, and it's really good. It's seen me off. It's seen me off a couple of mountains in the pitch dark. It's that good. If I wasn't too worried about weight, I've got another head torch which got a better light on it, more light, which I would tend to use. But if I'm going ultra light, I just take that. And first aid kit. I mean, basically, it's just got basic stuff in there. I've got spare batteries for my torches, for my head torch, and I've got another little torch. Spare batteries for that. Plasters, paracetamols, just things like that. Just basic stuff. You know, I mean, I'm not carrying machetes or axes and things like that. So yeah, that's all I need really. I don't, I'm not envisaging having anything more serious than just a slight cut maybe. Fingers crossed. Right, and then anyway, that's the outside of the bag. Now inside, right at the top of the bag, got my waterproof trousers on top, and then first thing at the bag's tent, and it's I've been using a Hilleberg Acto this year. Jury's still out on this tent. I do like it actually. I mean, I must admit I do like it. There's only one thing I don't like, and that is the condensation problem. But I'm going to persevere with it and try a few different things out on my next camp. But basically, I do like the tent. I like the size of it. I like the room inside of it. I like the size of the porch. I like the ease of how it goes up. It's not too heavy. It's actually inside a sleeping bag, if you know what I mean, because the bag that comes with the Hilleberg Acto is massive, and you can't really get it down to any sort of size. So this is just it's not a compression bag. This is just it's like a dry bag for me sleeping bag. But I use a different bag for my sleeping bag. So, and this is the ideal size, because this is as small as you can get the Acto, because of the size of the poles on the, you know, you've got two little poles on each end that are kind of built into the tent, and that dictates the width of the tent when it's packed up. So you're not going to get it any smaller. And this bag is ideal, and it's waterproof, and it's got like another bit there where you take off, and then out the tent comes. And then it's good as well because it's obviously waterproof, so if your tent's soaking wet, just hoy it back in, and that's it. That's the tent. And pegs for the tent. Always use Delta pegs where I can. I think they're a great piece of kit, and yeah, it makes your tent definitely more windproof. It'll, you trust the Delta pegs in high winds, definitely. And I've been out in some really high winds, and I haven't really had a problem with the Acto and winds. It's stood up to really high winds. And then the other peg bag, I've got a selection of different pegs. I've got the pegs that come with the Acto, which are I think they're aluminium, I think, V pegs. They're really quite strong. You know, I've hammered them into all sorts, and they seem to have held up really well. And then I also carry some of these as well, just for sometimes I'll put two and three pegs in one hole, in one point, just for security, for a guarantee that it's not going to come out and things like that. I'll have them crossed over in different angles. It just gives you a bit more assurance, Right. What's next out the bag? I'll leave that for now. Right. Always carry a bit of spare cordage. You just never know. If you've maybe break a cord or guy line, or maybe you need a longer piece, mosquito net for my head, just in case I need it in the summer. Right, I'll start next on the sleeping system. So that is my sleeping bag. As you can see, it's rolled up, compressed quite tightly there. It's a Rab Neutrino Endurance 600, which I think's it's maybe slightly too hot for the summer, and maybe slightly too cold for the winter. But you can always put extra, like sleep in extra gear to make it warmer, rather than take a bigger bag out. So I think it weighs about a kilo. If you had a winter bag and a Rab 900, it'd probably be nearly double that weight. So it's a good compromise, really. In the summer you can strip off or leave the bag open slightly, you know, not zip it right up, and then in the winter you can just put, you know, sleep in a down jacket, or, you know, extra pair of socks and this, that and the other. So I think it's a good compromise sleeping bag. Anyway, that's my sleeping bag, and then I've got it in that Sea to Summit compression sack, because the bag that comes with it is not a compression bag, and you can't get it down. I can't get it down as small as I want it, so I use the sleeping bag for my tent, and I use this bag, this compression sack, for my sleeping bag. And sleeping mat, I sometimes use a foam mat, but if I'm on which I think they weigh about half a kilo, the Thermarest, like an eggshell mat. But if I don't take that, if I'm on a really ultra lightweight camp, I'll take me Thermarest. I think it's a Neo Air or something. You know, you get all different types, but this one weighs 136 grams, I think, so it's really quite lightweight, and it's easy to put up and down. I don't use like a pump sack or anything. I just blow it up. You know, saves you carrying any extra pump sacks and things, or pumps. And then just a cheap pillow. I think they're £1 from most supermarkets. They don't always last too long, but they're cheap enough. For £1, I think they are. And then spare clothes. In the summer, I'll use put a t-shirt, socks, underwear, and a fleece. That's for the summer. That's probably all I need. So spare clothes. I don't think I've got everything in there that I normally take, but yeah, that's what I would normally take during the summer on a lightweight camp. And right, that's sleeping system and that, and clothes. Right, food and cooking. This is my bag for my food. So whatever food I take, it all goes in this bag. It's just a cheap. It's like it's really waterproof. It's a cheap thing. I think I got it out of the pound shop. It's like plastic, and it's easy to wash, easy to dry. So I put my food in there. Sometimes put my rubbish in there coming back, and it's easy to wash out. Yeah, all my food goes in there. And then on to my cook system. And that's basically all my cooking stuff and all my other stuff. I'll show you what I've got in here. Right, gas. Oh, I always carry my gas separate from. I don't bother putting it inside me cookware. They tend to rust, especially the bigger ones that you're going to use more than once. So I put it in a plastic bag because it'll rust as soon as the damp gets on it. You know, I tend to use the bigger ones because you can get the really small ones, but they only last maybe one wild camp. Where that size, they'll last at least 3, maybe 4. You know, I think I've got another gas canister that'll probably do another wild camp. And I've had that out at least 3 times, so and it'll do another one. So yeah, about 4 wild camps. I suppose it depends what you're cooking. If you're boiling a lot of stuff, they're maybe not going to last as long. Toilet paper. Scrubber, doing the dishes. Rubbish bag, just a normal pedal bin bag for rubbish, and wet wipes. Obviously essential for all sorts of things, cleaning your dishes and cleaning yourself, cleaning your gear. It's yeah, they all come in handy. And then the cook system itself. Right, I've got an MSR gas canister holder. Weighs nothing, you know, just put it in a bag. And a spork, titanium. I think this one's a Sea to Summit one. And I use that with my Opinel knife. So that's it, that's my utensils, that's all I carry. It's all I need, don't need nothing else. A knife and a spork. And then fire steel, self-explanatory, and I use the knife so I don't have to carry another piece of metal. I've got the knife that I can use with the fire steel. Right, I've got Sweetex, powdered milk or coffee whitener, and tea bags. That's all I drink. I don't drink coffee. I only drink tea. So that's all I take. Tea bags, whitener, and Sweetex. And my stove is a Pocket Rocket 2. Very small, compact. Comes in its little container. I think it weighs around about, I'm not sure, I think it's under 100, I think it's 70 grams, I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but yeah, it's not a lot. Very light. Small torch, spare torch. Not sure where I got that. I think I got that in France, a couple of euros. And army style tin opener from when I've got tins. Oh, and a titanium pot. And well, I call this a cup. I think they call this a small frying pan, and this is the pot. But you're not going to fry much in there, I'm telling you. I use that as a cup. Ideal, perfect size. Yeah, that's it. And I think they are made by Snow Peak, around about the £60 mark for the set. And then a dry bag for all the cook stuff. I think that's about it. Yeah, so that's my ultralight gear. In fact, I've got one other thing to show you. That's my bare minimum for a wild camp, and I think that comes in under 9 kilos. I always carry this bag, and it's got all my camera gear in. So charging cables, headphones for my phone if I'm going to listen to music, a power bank in case I've got to charge my phone up, or I can charge my Sony camcorder, which I'm videoing on now. I can charge that off the power bank as well. Selfie stick. My Canon camera. Sometimes carry other gear with this as well. I don't always take this out of me, but it's really handy. It's a handy piece of kit. I could video off this as well if I wanted to, but I prefer to use either my phone or my Sony camcorder. and it all comes in a dry bag, so if the weather gets nasty, I can put it all away. This, I have a soft shell cover for this, and then it goes in the dry bag. Yeah, and that's it. Right, extra gear if I'm going out, maybe if I'm wanting to go maybe just on a lower fell, or I'm not cooking, I don't need, you know, like if I'm frying stuff, I'll take this extra kit. Small frying pan. Very rarely take this, but it comes in handy if it's about the size of a large burger, that sort of size. I think it weighs about just under 100 grams, so it's you could do eggs in there. Yeah, it's quite handy. But normally I would take, this is the extra gear I would take if I was having a fry up, or you know, I've got a frying pan, which is, I think it's like a, you see it's quite shallow, it's like a crepe pan I think. So you know, you haven't got the increased height of the sides. Obviously I've taken the handle off. I have got a lightweight handle for it that I'd carry, but that weighs, I think that weighs just over 100 grams, and it's a crepe pan, and it's just a nice size, and that's what I tend to take out if I'm going to be frying, you know, if I'm not going to be taking rice and noodles and things like that. And then I'll take a little tub of oil for frying, and a plastic plate. So yeah, that's optional extra gear that I take. And then winter time, winter I've got a down jacket, some nice warm gloves, and these are waterproof also, and a scarf or a snood, I think you call them. And I would have me my hat as well, and I've got other more lightweight gloves that I could just slip on as well. Yeah, so you know, and a heavier coat as well. So yeah, that's me, you know, me winter gear. I think that's about it. I think normally my weight with my camera gear is around about 9 kilograms. If I'm taking me digital SLR camera and the tripods and batteries and things, I could be up to 11 kilograms, you know, with maybe extra water and things, but normally I'm around about the 9 to 10 kilogram mark, and that's with that's probably with a couple of tins of beer as well, and me food for one night's wild camp for the summer anyway. You know, it's around about between 9 and 10 kilos, which is just a nice weight, I think, for me anyway. Anyway, I think that's about it. I think I've covered just about everything. It's nice to see other people's kit lists, you know, and what they take with them. So yeah, I hope you enjoy mine. Thanks for watching.